It's here! It's the year of the Linux desktop! Woo! How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to more terrible content. So we actually have something pretty interesting to talk about today. So if you don't know who Pewdiepie is, hi Dad, don't worry. But the reason we're talking about him today is because he recently uploaded a video talking about Linux. So what we're going to do today is we're going to watch this video, we're going to talk about his experiences and what he has to say about Linux and the Linux experience, and I've already seen this video, so trust me, there's some good shit in here that I really do want to talk about. So, let's get started.
Let me start this off by saying I am not a tech guy. You saw my PC building video.
You're so bent.
I'm surprised the whole thing hasn't exploded. It's like,
okay, so that's actually something really important that we need to talk about. So, the common trope, obviously, is that all Linux people are like insanely tech literate and they're all like really deep into their own fucking anus about it. Okay, it's been like a minute into the video. I can start swearing now, all right? And they know every little thing about computers, and the only reason they're using Linux is just to flex how much they know and how smart they are, how intelligent they are, how up their own ass they are. But that idea, that picture of Linux is slowly changing. Through the efforts of companies like Valve and other open source communities like the KDE project or the Arch community, we're finally seeing a version of Linux that can be packaged up, that can be packaged up for the average user and shipped out and just be put on a computer, right? We're not quite there yet, but we're getting close, and we're way closer than we were even 3 years ago, man, when I started using Linux. And that is not a long time in the Linux community. Like, bro, I was talking to people who've been using it since fucking 2004, right? They grew up on Ubuntu, and they had to install it using a pack of CDs they got out of fucking Linux magazine or whatever. In the grander scope of the community, I am a wee baby, and I barely know shit. But Felix here has been using Linux for presumably, like, how long was it since his PC building video? 2 months. Okay, so Pewdiepie has been using Linux for 3 months, maybe 4 months tops, right? Definitely less than a year. So, if he's able to achieve the stuff he achieved in this video in only 6 months of using Linux, dude, anybody can use it at this point. Let's see what happens, actually.
for years, I have been tortured by Windows. But now, alas, I am finally free. I escaped the Windows cave. I saw the sun. The shadows are gone. It blinded me for a moment. And now I'm speaking to you in the cave. Enough reference.
Like, I know he's doing this as a bit to play up for the engagement of the video, but he really is starting to sound like a stereotypical Linux user at this point. Mostly because what he's saying is true.
Number one, Windows talks to me like I'm a baby. Now,
thank you! Holy shit, dude! Okay, like, some people will say that Windows is annoying, Windows has these little sour spots, Windows likes to poke its head out and be a little bit of annoying. There are so few people in my life who agree with me that Windows is actually just condescending. Like, brother, I am just trying to use my computer. You don't need to fucking tell me that you're getting it ready or you're doing all of this stuff, and you don't need to add shit to my taskbar when I didn't ask about it. I'm just repeating shit he's talking about in the video. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. So I appreciate Felix here for actually noticing the same thing I noticed, I guess. Also, yeah, the white balance is way fucked. Oh, it's on auto white balance. Let me fix that. Okay, yeah, that looks better, I think. I don't know, we're gonna go with it. Anyway, what was I doing? Moving on.
that's how it talks to me, and I don't like it. Linux, on the other hand, literally puts a gun in your hand and says,
Yes! Yes! He accurately described the feeling! It was fucking awesome! This video is great, by the way. I have not kept up with Pewdiepie for, like, 15 years. I am so glad that I jive with his humor as much as I do, because, like, holy shit, I should watch more of his fucking videos.
the bloat The bloat is real. It always bothered me. Anytime I install a new Windows, I spend like an hour trying to uninstall all the pre-packaged BS that I don't want.
So the way that I always put it, and the way that it was kind of pointed out to me, but I like regurgitating this. If you are knowledgeable and technical enough to go through and uninstall programs you don't want on Windows, or if you run a fucking script to de-bloat Windows for you, brother, you already have, or sister, or in between, I'm not here to judge, you already have the knowledge required to use Linux. If a dumbass like me is able to use it as a daily driver and produce questionable quality content like this, then anyone can.
Windows is like, I know you paid $100 or whatever for me, but I'm still gonna put ads in here. Yes. Put a little AI in here. You want that, right? That doesn't benefit me. It's for you, the consumer. Bing! It doesn't benefit me that you use Bing, but please use Bing.
Yep, totally. It's great. I love Microsoft. I love them. They're so good. And I love Google. And I love Meta. And I love, what's another fucking Twitter. I'm not calling it that. I'm calling it Twitter. I just realized a lot of this video is just gonna be me screaming at the computer screen like, yes, King! Get him, yes! And if you're still here watching this, hey, thank you.
Reason number 3, customization. I discovered this afterwards. Customizing on Linux is a beautiful thing.
So what's really funny is that, like, you don't have to go as in-depth as Felix does later on in this video. He shows off like a full-on Hyperland custom thing, and he has all these different hotkeys, and he has a custom taskbar, and he does a whole bunch of cool like really cool shit, and we will get to that eventually. But I want to stress that, like, you don't have to go that far. He's basically using this video as like a show-off of, like, you can go as far as I did, but it's definitely not a requirement. I can understand someone when they look at a new thing that this person wants them to get into and being like immediately overwhelmed with how much choice there is. I see this barrier be hit a lot when it comes to people picking distros and stuff, and the conversation surrounding picking distros. I totally understand that feeling of like overchoice and just not even wanting to mess with it at all, just purely based on that. I mean, shit, on my computer right here, you know what, we'll just minimize this. This is my tertiary monitor with a custom background drawn by my sister. Thank you, Abby. And it looks pretty normal to what you would expect like a Windows desktop to look like. You know, there's a couple of like weird things that I'll point out, like there's no menu that when you hit the super key, or the Windows key, I guess, that menu doesn't come up on this monitor. It comes up here on my ultra wide monitor. I'll get B-roll of that later on while I'm editing this. And even looking at my main ultra wide monitor, like it's pretty basic. It's pretty normal if you grew up using Windows computers or you're like familiar with using Windows computers. So I want to stress in this video that you do not have to go as far as Felix did, but it is cool, and I do respect it.
Back then, because it's like, well, then what's the point? But now, gaming the Linux is real at last. So Valve came in like Gandalf's in Helm's Deep, riding a Steam Deck with Pro.
Yeah, Steam Deck, yeah, Valve. I love billion-dollar companies. Even though Valve is privately owned and it's not a publicly traded company, whatever. We don't have time. So yeah, like I was talking about earlier, the Steam Deck coming in, Valve coming in and just absolutely wrecking house. I mean, it took a while to get here, right? You obviously had to have some failures before you got to the success. So, you know, there was the Steam Machine way back in like 2014, 2015, around that time. And those didn't do very well. The main hurdle that the Steam Machine had to get over was just that Linux wasn't exactly there yet. But Valve brought it there. Like, they gave it the technology it needed to play video games just nearly flawlessly. Obviously, there are some hiccups, you know, but if I can run Space Marine 2 on ultra setting at 120 FPS, oh, hi Gizmo, I guess he's just going over there now. If I can run this game at that good of a frame rate and pull that much graphics out of my graphics card, like, nothing is stopping you, dude. However, I will say that Monster Hunter Wilds performance has been absolutely dog shit. So maybe I'll make a video about that later, huh? Let's save that for a different video.
Valve as a company recognized maybe Microsoft has a bit too much power. If they wanted to and started being shady, locking things down, taking cuts, they absolutely could, and it's not like it would be uncharacteristics for them to do.
Yeah. This is kind of getting into why I think Valve is like cool when it comes to all of this, because they're not trying to lock anything down. I mean, the second they do try to start locking things down, everyone will fucking riot, but thankfully they're not going down that route, and they're actually being human beings, you know, and are developing tools and making things easier for the consumer and gamers and people in general. I was sounding too much like an economist there for a second. Ugh. But it's like you take the time to give people a thing that they want, an experience they've been wanting for years. They're gonna start supporting you. They're gonna start wanting more of this stuff out of you. Like, it just makes sense. The second you try to be like, oh no, actually you can't do that. It's like, but I wanted to give you, I wanted to support you. No, you can't give me money, you stupid fucking moron. My name is Microsoft Binbos. I'm gonna spit in your mouth. I get very heated when it comes to stuff like this, if you can't tell.
If you're swapping to Linux, you'll likely have to give something up. I don't know what it is, but for me, it was Photoshop. I used Photoshop, again, for 15 years. All the shortcuts, all my workflow, it's all baked into my brain. The way I use Photoshop, I don't think about it. It's just, here, so
and like, that's something I'm gonna constantly be repeating on this channel for as long as I make content here on YouTube. Like, there are reasons to not switch. That's fine. It is fine to look at everything and say, actually, I kind of need this tool, and it's only available on Windows or Mac if you're one of those people, and I can't switch over because of that. Like, that's completely fine. That's completely fine. If you need to use Windows for work, that's fine. But on a spare computer, on like a laptop, on a cheap ThinkPad you can get on eBay for like a couple $100, there you go. That's the perfect environment to use Linux, and that's what I recommend you do.
Unfortunately, Adobe is a garbage company, and their software just won't run on Linux. A lot of artists are jumping ship.
Actually, I have something really important. Like, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Disclaimer, I might be entirely wrong about this story, but I remember looking into this a few years ago, and I thought, now why would Adobe products not work on Linux? Like, obviously it's because they're entirely separate operating systems, and trying to recode everything for Adobe is kind of a fool's errand, right? But if Wine is a proper, like, process layer, translation layer is the proper term, actually. If you're able to run Windows software under Linux, well, why can't you run Adobe? And it turns out the reason why Adobe is just locked out of Linux is because of an embedded Internet Explorer process that is in Adobe products. And that is what they use to call back home to make sure your license is correct and your license is legitimate. Fucking your software is talking to the accounting department on a fucking shoestring and 2 cans. Using ancient fucking technology to make sure that you're actually paying for what you say you're paying for.
I crawled through the bushes just to find the goddamn unsubscribe button, and I was so ready. I was gonna be like, you Adobe, just unsubscribe. You know what happens? You know what happens? They hit me with an unsubscription fee.
What is absolutely fucking insane about this clip is that I experienced this exact same thing. He got off easy. He's getting charged what? Fucking $60? Is that 60A? I don't know what the A is in that, but like, let's just say $60, right? I was charged $200 American to have the luxury of not being able to use Adobe products anymore. What? So yeah, fuck Adobe. I'm never using them again, or I'm never paying for them again. If I have to use them again, it'll be on my fucking employer's dollar. It's not gonna be on my goddamn dollar. So yeah, I use DaVinci Resolve for a lot of my stuff. It's still an expensive professional piece of like video editing software, but it's not a subscription service. It's a one-time purchase. You buy the thing and you're done. And if you are a little bit smart with your money and you know about this deal, you can get one of these snazzy little mini editing keyboards that comes with a license key for DaVinci Resolve for the same price as the software on its own. So not only are you getting really good, mostly good software, you're also getting a nifty little piece of hardware. Like, I sound like a shill, but I had such a good experience with Resolve so far compared to the likes of Adobe. It's not perfect, obviously. There are some problems. I'm not going to ignore them. But for the most part, I've been enjoying using DaVinci Resolve and all of their tools that they got. It's really cool. It's really fun.
If anything, it just made me realize, okay, it's over. I'm never going back. So like I said, the open source alternative is GIMP. And since this is Linux, open source, you can do whatever you want. I downloaded this icon pack that changed the icons so they look like the Photoshop icons. That helped a little bit. Then I downloaded a shortcut command list that matches the one on Photoshop. Boom, made it a little easier. You know, I'm still not 100% used to it, but the fact that, yeah, I can do stuff like this.
You wanna know something that's fucking wild? Is that he went into way more effort than me in different areas. So when I decided to switch over, right now for thumbnails and the like, I'm using Krita. It's more of like a drawing tool than a thumbnail, like photo editing tool, but it gets the job done for what I need it to do. I feel like it's fine. But for a couple of years, I used GIMP to make my thumbnails, and it is really different. Like, bro, I could not find the stroke tool. For those of you who do not know anything about that, it's not the one where your brain goes all funny. It's the tool that adds an outline along here. I'm gonna put text like right here on the screen, and I'm gonna put a stroke around it. That is what a stroke is. For the life of me, I could not find this tool in GIMP, so I had to resort to color picking the text and then growing the selection by a few pixels, and then I use that to like double up on the strokes, and it made a cool effect for some thumbnails, but it's just easier on Krita to just do the one stroke. But I didn't go through any of that trouble of like downloading icon packs or shortcuts or any of that. I just kind of went in for it and like raw dogged it. Phrasing. I just learned it. Like, I don't know, I just kind of threw myself in. It definitely made my experience a lot more frustrating, but I don't know. I guess it shows that both approaches are fine, I guess.
But what you gain on Linux is so much more. Freedom.
He knows.
Join us.
He knows.
I'm just praying that Adobe is not just gonna show up one day and be like, there's another fee. Now that I've convinced you to swap to Linux, you have the wonderful choice of picking a distro. Yay, so many of them. I hear people going like, I don't know which one to pick. What do I do? There's so many. Just pick one. It's a wonderful thing that you can choose. Don't you understand? The world is...
Yes. Yes. Fucking, okay. So, maybe I'm the weird one. Maybe I'm the one who's out of touch. But to me, having all of these choices, I feel is ultimately a good thing. Like, I know I just talked about in this video understanding the concept of overchoice and having so many different choices and like being scared about which one to pick. Like, I get it, right? It's something that I continue to struggle with to this very day. But the only thing that has ever made any of that overchoice shit easier for me is finally realizing that my initial choice was just that, an initial choice, and I can always change it later or change my mind, or just in the case of Linux distros, just install something else if I'm not feeling it. You know, I started on Pop! OS and then I went to Fedora and now I'm on Arch, and who knows where I'll be in the future, but I mean, the fact that I'm able to have this kind of a journey is really cool and an experience that you just don't get on other operating systems. You just kind of follow the upgrade path. It feels more personal, you know? Like, it feels more like a personal story that you made from your skills and building up your knowledge of Linux. And it's like, if you're on Windows, it's like, oh yeah, I installed Windows 98, and then guess what? I installed Windows 2000. What the fuck is wrong with me tonight? God damn it, the anxiety is really fucking set in. I am crazy.
Alright, so this is the terminal.
So, Felix's fucking ricing is on a whole nother level, dude. Like, it's insane. Like, I'm not gonna show everything in this video, obviously. We're kind of gonna be skipping through a lot of this, just kind of doing like a little montage, but I highly recommend you watch the whole thing. There will be a link in the description. obviously.
But first, wait. Oh, yes, today's sponsor. 3, 2, 1. Wrong! Jifyo! Wow, look at ASCII art. I love it. Beautiful PewDiePie tub. Right now, you get a free PewDiePie shaker.
That was really fucking cool. So, funny story, I actually wanted to do like this exact bit for the intro of my big 3-year Linux video. And I ended up just saying screw it and just used the Hollywood command instead. I'm sure some of y'all in the comment section noticed it, but yeah, I did not go this in depth and like write a whole script. I wanted to, but it would have been too much to learn in too short of a time. But I guess it's not the fucking case for Felix.
The most obvious thing with the terminal is that, let's say you install the operating system and you need to also put all the programs that you want to use on it. Usually you have to go on the browser, Google it, look up their page, go to their download page, dodge all the fake ads and all that crap, and do that and install and run each one, wait for it to install, yada yada. It takes forever. On Linux, you just go sudo apt install, what do we want? We want VLC, Firefox, OBS Studio, boom, thank you. And now I can sit and look at the screen and feel like I'm a hacker. Yeah.
Bro. Another thing that just absolutely blew my fucking mind when I decided to switch over. Like, dude, I made a video about this, actually. Fucking Linus Tech Tips video, like 2 or 3 years ago at this point. Made me sit down and, like, do this exact thing. Talking about, like, package managers and shit, and how useful package managers are. And, like, how cool that experience is on Linux and everything compared to the experience on Windows. And, like, I know that Windows has a package manager, too. But it's just... it is not the way you download software on there, but on Linux it is, and I don't know, it's just a whole lot cleaner.
And now I can sit and look at the screen and feel like I'm a hacker. Yes, I know what all of this means. Every single letter I'm soaking in with my brain.
Funny story. So I remember sitting outside of my class, like before it began back in college. This is probably like 2 years ago now at this point. I was sitting, I had my ThinkPad, and I was, you know, because at the time I had Manjaro on there. So I was typing away, going through like yay commands and like trying to install a piece of software that I want. And I had the window for the terminal open, and it was like just scrolling through all the text. And I just kind of like sat back like this, just like waited patiently. I think I had like some music playing or something. I don't know. There were a couple other of my classmates I was talking to in the middle of this, and one of them just happened to look over on my screen and is like, "What the fuck are you doing over there?" And I was just like, "I'm just updating." And they're like, "You know what? Yeah, sure. That's what he does." I kind of just have that reputation like pretty much everywhere I go. It's just like, yeah. He's gonna do his like autism shit. Just let him do it. He'll be fine.
But I also wanted to download Arch because it's a minimalist distro. Whatever you put, or at least 90% of it, is there because you decided to put it there. And it's also very highly customizable, which are 2 elements that I love, so I knew I was gonna love it.
So actually, one thing I do want to bring up before we actually like get into the ricing proper, I think it's really smart of him to use something really stable and really solid like Mint on the desktop, and then on the laptop where you have a whole lot more freedom to just kind of fuck around, like using Arch and Hyperland and all this like crazy bleeding edge shit. I think that's the right way to go about it, honestly. Running Arch Linux on my main desktop here, it's definitely caused some issues. I will be 100% honest. So I think at some point in the future, whenever I get a secondary PC that's like only for work and only for editing, I think that one I'll put something like Mint or something relatively stable like Fedora on there, and just kind of like let that one be stock and just let it be the work computer, you know? But for things like gaming and stuff, yeah, I kind of need Arch or something like meant for gaming like Bazite, or maybe SteamOS whenever the fuck that comes out. Valve.
Open terminal, open file manager, open browser, close it, whatever, it's all there. But even in general, you know, the whole like, okay, let me click on the start menu and just find the thing. If I don't have it keybind, I can open Rofi. and just search for it and open it. I don't want to over-explain things as well, but yeah, this is my terminal on this setup. I'm using Alacrity, and this is NeoFetch, which shows my specs.
That's really nice, by the way. That fucking animated ASCII art there for NeoFetch. That's some cool shit right there. Hold on, I actually didn't see this system he's got. 9500, 5900, Ryzen 9 5900 HS. God, I couldn't do that. 16 gigs of like nearly 5 gigahertz RAM, a fucking 3070, dude. Like, that's a powerful ass laptop, bro. And he just threw Arch and Hyperland on it. Like, that thing must run so goddamn smooth. Motherfucker ripped out all of the interior of his like 9.6 liter V8 and was just like, bro, fucking fuel economy, am I right?
When you're on a laptop, when you have limited screen space, it's such a great way to work with it. The fact that they're always there means I never have to look for them because I know they're there. And if
yeah, dude, one of these days I'm gonna have to get into Hyperland. Like, I tried once before, but it was running on not very powerful hardware, and so I was running into issues with like customizing it, and I had it just wasn't the experience I was looking for, you know? And maybe now that I have a better idea of what Hyperland is all about, maybe now I can go back to it and have a better time. But man, one of these days, man, I love the idea of a full Hyperland workflow and a full keyboard-centric workflow, but it's just not there, man. I haven't learned it yet. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna skip all of his talking about ricing because I want you to actually watch this video for yourself. So if you want more information on his ricing, just go watch the original. It fucking deserves it, more so than me, the fucking proverbial leech off of, on the belly of the whale, right? God, I'm a fucking failure.
But my point is, I've been having so much fun. Just tinkering, messing around, feeling like a hacker.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun. Like, I think Linux has just been a lot more fun of a computer experience, despite all the aggravating, fucking nightmare-inducing moments that happen sometimes.
Now, if you're even just a little bit curious, I recommend trying Linux. Maybe try dual booting it if you're not sure. You can still keep your Windows or whatever.
Perfect fucking ending there. Like, you can switch over to Linux, but it doesn't have to be like a permanent thing. You can still go back to Windows if you want. You don't have to sacrifice your main machine to try out a new operating system. But yeah, that was a lot. How long have I been recording? An hour. Okay, cool. I have a lot of editing to do. So, I'm gonna go do that. Thank you for watching. I mean, everybody's already clicked off at this point, but thank you to the executive lads. You guys really mean a lot to me. You do a bunch of cool shit for me, even if it's just supporting me financially, showing up to live events that I've hosted in the past. Like, it's been cool, and I do appreciate it. I really do. And I appreciate you. If you're still watching and you sat through all of that and you're still here watching this video, even if it's on like a secondary monitor, hey, that still means a lot to me. So thanks for that too. Anyway, I have a fucking headache. I'm gonna go like lay down for a little bit.